I've lost all respect. Sorry. This is absolutely rigged for money. Or ratings. I'm not sure which. I won't be silent. Just saw it live.
Hey, Aisha Curry, I didn't know you were joining the pod.
Yeah. After that game last night, she had to come out. An abomination. I don't think I've ever I wasn't conscious for the Chris Webber Kings versus Lakers series, and that is obviously for real rigged.
Right.
In some way, shape, or form with betting and all the things with Donaghy and that whole scandal. How Scott Foster survived that, I don't know. But last night, that's the first game that I've watched in a very long time where I was like, there's a call. There was a call somewhere that happened in the earpieces, and they're like, this has to happen, or else you lose your jobs, or we firing squad you. I don't know.
Right.
There's no other way. But Spurs win 115-111 last night, game 3 in MSG. Welcome to the Apollo NBA show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube or wherever you get audio podcast platforms. I'm your host, Stone Strankman, joined always by Drew Preety. How we doing, bud?
Good, dude. I'm great. I do want to say to start it off that I don't think, because we're gonna get into the refs for sure right now. I don't think it is the main reason the Knicks lost. But I do believe it was a contributing factor for sure. You know, when you have a head coach talk about it immediately after the game in his post-game interview, that's kind of the first thing he says is and he said too, he's like, Spurs are a great team, but it's really hard to beat a great team when they're getting 3 times more free throw attempts than you are in one half of a game. So it's tough. I do think you're right. The league, I think we know, can make, a game a little bit easier for one side than another, especially if they're down 2-0 in the finals and they're going to the other team's home place. There's no shot they wanted this to be a sweep. And again, the Spurs won that game because they played really well. But there were moments that we'll get into that I think were a little eye-opening. I kind of want to start off with the push, with the Wemby push on Brunson.
Was that even a push? That was
what do you want to call it?
We can start with game 2 where he put Jose Alvarado into a double headlock and threw him around, and just not even an inkling of a whistle in a mouth, not even close. They didn't even fucking care. And then the same thing happens last night. I'll put this in the clip right now, but there's a picture, it's widescreen, and it's Cat getting absolutely mauled on the other side, 10 feet away from Brunson, where Brunson's getting shoved. He was shoved in the back of the head because he was guarding Wemby. He was boxing him out, essentially trying to make sure that he could get the ball, whatever, on the inbound, whatever that play was. And Wemby just shoves him to the ground. And Brunson came up and pointed a finger at him you don't fucking do that. That's ridiculous. That's essentially what I'm guessing he said is that's pussy shit, foul. I don't know. He's saying something at Wemby, and Wemby laughs him off because he knows he can get away with almost anything. And he's been doing it for his whole career. And a lot of people are saying European basketball, they play a lot tougher, a lot meaner, a lot dirtier, and all that kind of stuff over there, which may be true. But he played in France, which is not the best league in the world. That's not where Real Madrid plays. It's not where the best basketball outside of the NBA is played. So I don't know what it's like over there. But that's insane. He could literally do anything. And I think the problem with him not getting a flagrant is because if he gets one more flagrant, he gets suspended for the next game. Because he's already at the limit for the playoffs because he threw a literal murder elbow at Reed in that round. If he gets one more flagrant, he's suspended for the next game automatically. So I think that's why they're not calling it, which I understand you want to have Wemby in the finals. That's a lot of the ratings and makes the game a lot better. But at the end of the day, you have to reprimand him because he shouldn't be able to get away with those things because that could lead to injury. That could lead to other things fights, all these things. You're not. I always mention that in hockey, in our hockey podcast, is the refs have to do a job of controlling the game so it doesn't get out of control. So when there's a lot of physicality, there's a lot of roughing after the whistle, all that kind of stuff. You have to make sure that it doesn't stay that way, or else the game is going to get out of control. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get knocked out of the game because of hits or fights or whatever. In hockey, you kind of have to do the same in basketball in a different way. It's hey, we're not playing that shit. and he just keeps getting away with it. He just keeps getting away with it. That's all it is.
I do wonder if the league will look at the tape today, and you said he can't get another flagrant or he'll get suspended, but might give him a tech and fine him again. And then I think after that, like, I actually do believe if something like this happens again, there will probably be like a serious discussion of like, because it's not like it's not a basketball play. Like it's away from the ball. Like, you're jostling for position. That's totally fine. Like, that happens.
But he even really wasn't
of the game.
That was the issue.
That's what I'm saying. That's like, that happens all the time. But to grab someone by the back of the neck and like basically, I mean, Brunson's head almost hit the floor. That's how hard he threw him down on the ground. Like, he had to brace himself with both hands to just like, not topple to the ground. So pretty extreme. I bet he does get fined and maybe gets a tech, and we'll see what happens from there.
I think it's just too little too late if you do a tech now, because like in the moment, if you don't want to give him a flagrant, that okay, but you have to tech him, like, or give him a foul. Like, that has to be free throws and possession for the Knicks, like in some way, shape, or form, which would affect the game, and you didn't affect the game. So now if you do it afterwards, everyone's gonna be like, well, what's the point? Because now are we gonna add 2 free throws to the total? Like, okay, so it's 113, 115 instead.
Can you start a game where the other team shoots free throws? Like, I don't know if that's a rule.
Or they're going to assess him a flagrant after the finals, and they're going to suspend him for game 1. Or if they end up winning the finals, they'll suspend him for game 2 because they want him to be there for the
home opener
banners ceremony and the ring ceremony and everything. That's what they would do. I know it. I know for a fact that's what they would do.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get suspended. Unless he really does something else like pretty egregious, but we'll see.
This is like Draymond kind of shit, though. Like, it's been happening all playoffs. It's been happening all season with Wemby. He's been doing these kinds of things. And like, if you're a Spurs fan, you love that because he's being physical. He gets fouled a lot. I'm not saying that he doesn't get fouled a lot. He gets grabbed. He gets pushed. He gets all of those things. Cat was jostling with position last night the whole game, and they called a lot of them. They didn't call a lot of them, and it's kind of how it is when you're 7'7". You can't call everything. Like LeBron in his prime couldn't call everything. Like everyone else, you just can't call everything.
Right.
But to do a non-basketball play in 2 straight games and not have any repercussions for it is dumb to me.
Yeah, I agree. The free throws, like Mike Brown said in the post-game conference, the Knicks as a team shot 8 in the second half. Spurs shot 24. So I think some of that is the beginning of the fourth quarter. We talked about it in our group chat. Like, there are some ticky-tack fouls. But I will say,
the first minute.
In the midst, the first minute for the fourth quarter. But they got in the bonus, I think, with like 9 minutes left in that fourth quarter. So it's like, once that happens, like, you are going to have a pretty, like, I don't know, jump in free throw attempts, just because 9 minutes of just getting calls, like the ball isn't going, to the side and thrown in bounds. You're going to the free throw line. So there's that aspect of it where it's just going to automatically happen no matter what if you are already in the bonus. But I don't know. It's just a little, wishy-washy with what we saw. I think the Spurs won because they were the better team, but
they played better.
It certainly helped.
Yeah, their first quarter was really good. The Knicks was really bad. There was not any shot-making ability from the Knicks. Basically, they were clawing their way to 20-something points, and the Spurs were over 30, right? They had 11-point lead, I think, going into the second quarter. Knicks had a fucking hell of a second quarter. They put up 42 points. They won the free throw battle there because they were playing harder, and they were getting to the rim, and they were getting those fouls. And then you get to the second half, and they weren't getting those fouls, and they had to call timeout and use 2 timeouts and 2 challenges on 2 calls that – one call that definitely was like, hey, it looks like it goes out on OG, I believe, and they called and it was out on Dylan Harper. I understand that having to use a challenge on that one, but the foul calls like that they missed in those last 4 to 5 minutes on the Knicks were just stupid, because I don't understand why, like in baseball, I don't know if you've watched the ABS challenge things. Like, it's kind of unlimited. You have 2 of them, but as long as you get it right, you just keep getting ABS challenges for strike zone. Like, if you get the challenge right, I don't think you should lose the challenge. Sure, you lose the timeout because you had to use it to get there. I'm fine with that, but I don't think you should lose.
I agree.
Challenge if you won it. Like, you get 2 challenges and that's it. This isn't football. Like,
no, I agree.
They missed like 5 calls in the last 5 minutes, and they had to use 2 challenges, and then they were out. Cat gets completely fouled underneath the basket when they were down 4. on that 3.2, 3.7 seconds left in the shot clock. So, and they didn't have a challenge to challenge it because the refs fucked it up.
Yeah, Cat got hacked. And then Clarkson also was taking a baseline jumper and couldn't land, and they didn't. And I was like, I think everyone in the stadium too was like, oh, that's going to be a foul, and they didn't call it. And you're like, all right. And the Knicks were off to the races.
Wasn't that with 10:45 left in the fourth quarter? Like it was right after the 3 foul calls, I think.
Yeah,
they go down. Clarkson has that one in the corner, gets completely landed on. We can talk about the flagrant that was called on Brunson, where he turns the other way. Champagny literally has a quote in an article in a press conference saying, "Every time I shoot the ball, I'm looking to land on someone's feet to get." He
said, "Really?"
It's a literal quote in an article for The Athletic, I believe. He literally said that, and then Brunson gets a flagrant. And then later in the game, Josh Hart nails a 3 in the corner. Wemby takes out all of his legs, but Josh Hart sees this happening. He lands on one leg, but doesn't put all the pressure on it, so he doesn't fall down. Nails the 3, but takes out all of his room to land.
Yeah.
And didn't get a foul, didn't get a flagrant. And I'm just like, at some point we have to. If we're gonna that rule, I know it's because of injury, and I know it was the Kawhi and South Africa, whatever. I get it, but it's so wishy-washy, and you can get a foul call whenever you want on that. Like if you just fall down, they're probably going to call the call, which I just think is dumb.
It's tough on the refs. It's probably one of the harder ones to determine.
Absolutely.
In real game time. The Clark's one I thought was pretty obvious.
Right. It took his legs out, basically.
Yeah. But also, like, role player.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He had a great game.
He did. He probably has the best game of maybe even the playoffs.
I think he didn't play in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Like, I think he played in game 1. I don't know if he played in I think he was DNP, CP, and CD in game 2. And then the other thing with the refs is Dylan Harper just running onto the court with 6 guys on the court.
Yeah, that's just bad management. To not put
really bad.
Time back on the clock, I thought was just like, come on, that should be an automatic thing. Like there has to be someone in your ear, like they have people in the replay center. Like there has to be someone in your ear being like, hey, they're like you guys, like a little bit of time came off the clock. I mean, it didn't matter in the end. Again, maybe
but they had 2 wide open 3s on that possession. OG passed it up to go to the corner, which I believe was Shamet. Shamet had a wide open 3. Not that he played well; he was 1 of 8. From the field, so like who knows if he makes it, but it was a wide open 3 and he just walked on the court and the refs were like, oh sorry, and then didn't call a technical, which is in the rule book. Like that's a technical foul to have 6 guys on the court.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like the ref shouldn't have given the ball to whoever was inbounding it to start the play if they weren't ready. Like guys were still clearly coming on off the court. That one's just bad management by the refs in general.
Yeah, and it was a stoppage of play, but it wasn't a TV timeout or anything, which I don't think they were allowed to sub at that point. And then they still sat him. They put Dylan Harper back on the bench, so they weren't allowed to sub him, but he walked on the court anyway.
Yeah, well, they were trying to sub him because they were thinking about reviewing. Something I forgot what the actual play was before that, but
and I'm okay if the refs are like, yeah, no, you can't do that. Like you either do it or don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just a weird game, but the Spurs were the better team. They played better in game 3 than the Knicks, and I think we can talk about Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that's the subplot that's been kind of really like I think everyone wants to talk about it in the first 2 games, but like there was more ammunition on the other side because the Spurs were down 0-2.
Yeah,
but he's had a rough series. This was probably his best game shooting wise, and it still wasn't very good. Like 11 for 25 isn't great.
Yeah.
He had 5 assists to 5 turnovers. So like you're not making up any positive margin in that arena. On the series, he shot 30 for 81. He's averaging 27 points and 27 attempts, 4 assists to 4 turnovers, 37% from the floor, 32% from beyond the arc. To have like all these betting companies being like he's still the favorite for Finals MVP, that's ridiculous, right? Like I think Cat before this game, we'll get into OG and who we think might actually be the Finals MVP after we talk about Brunson, but he's been I think a deterrent in their success. Like he's been just if you take out the fourth quarter, and again I know the fourth quarter is where the money's made and that's where all the big time shots are and. That's actually kind of why the reason the Knicks were up 2-0 is because of Brunson in the fourth. But to put them, the reason they have had to have these comebacks is because he's been just dribbling the ball out of the air out of the ball the first 3 quarters. And last night was no different.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do think if the Knicks had won last night, or if they continue to win this series, I still think it's going to be Brunson if he just does what he's been doing to win Finals MVP. Unless Cat just has another 2 exceptional games, then it's a real conversation. But I think it's just he's the captain and he's been scoring the most points, and I think that's kind of what it comes down to. But yeah, the Spurs are playing incredible defense. Their game plan against Brunson has been phenomenal. It's just pressure the whole fucking game. There's no breathing room. We're never going to give it to you. And while we talk about Wemby getting fouled on almost every single possession, Brunson, every time he's brought the ball up, feels like he's getting fouled as well. So it goes both ways. Like, they're both not getting calls, and it is what it is. And they're going to let that go. I'm fine with that. Like, as long as you just let it go, it makes sense. But yeah, dribbling the ball until there's 7 seconds left in the shot clock, where you're just in a corner up against the backcourt line. Like, you're just kind of putting everyone in a tough spot of like needing to hit a shot or create something, because Brunson's going to get blitzed and double teamed right there. And with 8 seconds left, it's like OG's got to go run to the basket and hope and pray that someone's open in the corner, and hope and pray that there's more than 2 seconds left on the clock when he passes it. Like, it's just the offense wasn't good last night. And Mike Brown said it. He's like, we didn't move last night. We were all sedentary. Everybody was standing around, like, whatever. OG had his best game of the series. He started out, 7 of 8 from the field. Like, finished 9 of 13, 69%. He was 42.9% from 3, had 28 points. Like, if we're talking about MVP moments, OG has them all, because he'll hit a 3 and then he'll be the only guy to get back on defense and hit a block on Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, or whoever it is that go into the rim and just kind of wide open. And then OG just shows up and blocks it. Like, he's had the most moments, and he had a great game. Josh Hart had a phenomenal game. You got something out of Jordan Clarkson last night. He was really good, 4 of 7. When Alvarado came in, he was really good. But then every time Brunson came in, the ball stopped. And like, Mikal Bridges wasn't a feature in the offense at all. He has 5 shots attempts on NBA.com right now. I don't remember any of them. I don't remember him shooting the ball.
I think the whole flow with him got messed up because he had those 2 fouls really early in the game. So I think just like, if it Bridges, I think it has to be like, it's pretty like, the game has to go the right way for him to be comfortable offensively. And to start off like that with those 2 early fouls, I think just kind of took him out, at least on that side of the ball. I don't know. I just feel like, do you really think Brunson would be Finals MVP? Like, I don't know.
I think it's all narrative. It's captain of the New York Knicks, and he scored the most points. That's all it. And he, in game 2, which we didn't record after game 2, he hits the jumper to tie it.
Right.
A Dirk fadeaway, which was fun for me. And then he hits 1 of 2 free throws to end it, and then Wemby misses on the other end. Like, Jalen Brunson got the moment in that game. I know OG had a few moments. I know Cat had a phenomenal game, and then the ref said, hey, here's like 7 fouls in the first 30 seconds of the second half, and he was gone. He had like 17 points in the first half. I think he scored 4 in the second half because the ref stood in. Like, if Cat just has that game and doesn't get the shit ticky-tack fouls in game 2, then yeah, we're talking about Cat as Finals MVP. And a lot of people still are. I just think narrative is going to go in Brunson's favor there.
Yeah, it might. I think that's definitely a possibility. I think there's, if we're talking narrative, there's definitely a narrative around Cat to be like, number 1 overall pick, didn't live up to his expectation in Minnesota, got traded.
Childhood favorite team.
Yeah, averaging like, 3 times as many assists as he was in the regular season during this playoff run. Although in the finals, like, I wanted to get into it. Like, I think the reason the Knicks, again, were winning the first 2 games but escaping, I think it's fair to say, is he's only averaging 3 assists. And I just think it's just like the Knicks offense runs way better when the ball is in his hands, either at the top of the key and they're hitting screens and cuts around him, and he's finding guys in for either like dives to the basket or pops out to the line, or he has the ball at the post, and you can either, he can get by Wemby, we've seen it, or again, kick it out to someone who's open or hitting a cut. And in game 3, it never happened, never materialized.
What do you think about the picks that they're setting? Like, the Spurs are doing such a good job of having that second defender already there on the other side, to where Brunson can't even get close to the pick to cut anyone off, like Castle's still just following him around the pick, like with relative ease because the second defender's already in Brunson's face. Like they're doing such a good job of that. So I understand why Brunson's like frustrated and struggling in the 5 turnovers. But they had like, didn't they start the game with 3 or 4 straight turnovers too? Like once that happened, I was like, it's probably just not their night because they were winning the turnover battle in the first 2 games by at least a little bit. So when that happened, I was like, that's not good. They're sloppy.
And that could have been nerves. I was thinking about it too. That could have been nerves just because you are up 2-0 in the finals. It is the first game at home. Everyone's there. The ticket prices are absurd. Like that could have just been nerves in the beginning of that of game 3. But yeah, dude, defensively, the Spurs, it's working. Like they're keeping Wemby kind of just like as this roamer and able to like help with all these cuts, like you were saying, and picks to like as soon as Brunson comes off a screen, like he's seeing multiple bodies. And sometimes it works and they, that's the moment I think like make the quick pass, right? Make the quick pass to whoever is the, the defenders are helping off of. Start swinging that ball because we've seen like Wemby can get driven by, right? So if he's the one helping on those screens to help that and force the ball to be stuck in Brunson's hands, he has to move back to his defender, and he's not the best at getting back and staying in front. Like OG had another drive where he caught the ball. Wemby went up to him on the 3-point line.
Jabs.
And OG just drives by him and dunks on him again. And we saw that in game 2. So I think Brunson just has to be more deliberate in his reads. And then that might help break up the Spurs defense a little bit.
And obviously foul trouble with Cat, but Cat's been averaging 5-6 assists this playoffs. He had 1 last night.
I know.
They're not. He's Sabonis light in the sense of what's happening in this playoffs, like the good version of Sabonis with the Kings, where he's kind of the hub. You get him the ball at the top of the key, he starts facilitating and everything. Like Brunson can do that as well. But when Brunson's getting pressured this much, I feel like the pick is kind of pointless. If he's going to get blitzed, I know he's shorter, but he's got to get the ball out to someone that can facilitate. And the problem with the Knicks lineup is that Cat is probably the only one other than Brunson in the starting lineup that can facilitate. So if he's not getting the ball, then you're giving it to Josh Hart, who's literally dribbling with his left hand because his right like ring finger's sideways. It's all just jacked up from whatever. And like he doesn't dribble with his right hand. It's the craziest thing. I was watching it last night. OG's not like a great facilitator. Like he had 1 assist last night. Josh Hart had 5 last night, but I think he was just kind of the swing man and giving it to the open guy. But like there's no assists coming from anyone else outside of Cat and Brunson. So when you're not giving the ball to Cat at all, he didn't seem like a feature part of the offense last night. I don't think he shot his first 3 until late in the 3rd quarter. Like, you didn't get him going. You didn't get Bridges going because he had foul trouble right off the rip. Josh Hart and OG were the only ones going, and you weren't really finding a way to get them the ball with like ample time in the shot clock because Brunson would take it slow instead of sprinting to half court and just getting the ball out. And when he wasn't, it was Josh Hart taking the ball up, and Josh Hart's not the facilitator, even though he had 5 assists last night. It's just like Cat didn't get any part of the offense last night, and Mike Brown said like we just weren't facilitating. We weren't running an offense. We were just all standing around, and they only lost by 4 points.
Yeah, I think
bad game and lost by 4 points.
These games have all been. I think you could argue
they haven't played
either team should have won the first 3. Like none of these games have been like blowouts or it's clear who the better team was that night. Like they've all come down to the wire. So it makes for an exciting. I'm hoping that Spurs. I'm hoping either way, like whoever. I don't care who wins game 4, but I hope it goes at least 6. I don't want a 5-game series.
Hey Drew, you remember what my first initial prediction was though?
Knicks in 5. It's certainly
still very available.
Very available. Very. Especially if they win game 4 at home, it might be a lock.
Yeah, I feel so confident if they just go to San Antonio up 3-1.
Yeah.
In that, I don't know. My boy Sean, he's been screaming Knicks in 4 from the mountaintops immediately with and he's the most overconfident person of all time. Like just extreme confidence in himself and his team and everything. He's been screaming Knicks in 4. And after the first 2 games, I was like, yeah, dude, like Knicks in 4. And then after the first quarter, I was like,
Oh, no,
maybe not. And then it just keeps getting later. I'm like, if they're able to overcome the refs in game 2, which they were kind of a problem in game 2 as well with kind of the calls in the second half. And then that happens again in game 3. And I was like, if they can pull this one off and just beat the Spurs and the refs in like for 12 minutes a night, holy shit, this team might be the best of all time.
And they almost did. Like we talked about that.
Really
like,
did.
They were up 7, I think, with like a minute left, the Spurs. And then
they hit that
Brunson hits that huge 3, and you're like, all right, that's a 4-point
shit.
game. And now they don't have to foul. They can kind of play it out. And then someone hits a 2, I think, right?
Fox hit one at the free throw line. He got fouled from behind too, and they didn't call it because it's the last minute. But
and then OG hits that crazy shot in the corner, and you're like, are they gonna like pull this out of their ass again? Like,
you know what I thought of? The 4-point play, the Larry Johnson 4-point
Larry Johnson.
Play. Like I was,
they talked about
they were down 4, and I was like,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. They talked about it, and he was there. They showed him on the sidelines. That would be crazy if the history repeated itself. But yeah, they definitely had their moments. I did want to talk about the reason I think, honestly, like the Spurs were able to pull it out was not Wemby. He had a great game, but in
Isaiah
the fourth,
Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco with the ball in his hands. That end the shot clock 3 that Castle hit.
That was so good because it was in his face too.
It's the only reason they won, I think. I mean, they were up 4. Brunson had just hit a really good shot, I think off the glass or some kind of layup to cut it to 4.
Was it the weird wonky one where he shot it behind his back basically when he got fouled?
No, because it wasn't. I don't think there was free throws after it. Okay. But either way, he was going off in the fourth quarter. It was a 4-point game. There's a minute left. You can tell the Spurs are getting a little tight, as referenced by that whole possession before the Castle 3, where Wemby's kind of just holding the ball at the top of the key. And we've kind of seen he can't really drive by Cat because Cat is just the perfect height, I think, to pick his pocket almost every single time. And they're stuck and they're in neutral, and he passes it to Castle with like 2 seconds left, and he throws up a prayer and it goes in. If that doesn't go in, it's a 4-point game, and the Knicks are running back on the floor or to their side of the court, in transition with a minute left, and they hit a shot, and then it's a 1-point possession game. Like, I don't know, man. That could have been disastrous. It could have been disastrous.
It was a lot like the Cleveland game 1 with the Knicks is what it kind of felt like there. I was like, Cleveland's just making and I know that the lead dwindled down from 7 minutes on, but that last minute, you're just like, that's an incredible comeback. I don't know if they can do it. And then it just like Cleveland would shit the bed and the Knicks would go down and make the shot. Like that's what it felt like for a second. And Castle hits the 3. Fox hit that 2. Just 2 really good shot making plays from those 2 guys. Because Castle, like, it was into the shot clock. He releases it. I think the buzzer happens like when the ball's in the air right before it goes in, and had a hand in his face. It wasn't like they left him open. Like I'm pretty sure OG was over there crashing and like had a hand in his face and hit the big shot. I don't know. He played well. He played really well.
Yeah, I saw they talked about it on the broadcast, but Wemby and Castle, the first pair of teammates who are 22 or younger to both score 20 in a finals game. That's how you know this team's going to be around for a while. Like we talked about it with the Celtics a few years ago with Brown and Tatum. Talked about it with the Thunder last year. Like, this is another team that's just going to be good for a while just because these 2 guys.
Another really young Spur that's been like good in the minutes that he gets.
What, Harper?
Well, sure, but he was 5 of 18 last night. I'm not going to talk about him. Carter Bryant. He plays 3 to 7 minutes a night. Yeah. And those 3 to 7 minutes are the most annoying minutes for the Knicks, it feels like.
He's doing just enough. I think he's doing just enough that they're throwing him in the game because he's the guy where they're like, all right, we have to give Harper and Castle and whoever, like Vassell, some rest on Brunson for like 5 seconds. Like you said, he's only in for the game for like 4 minutes.
He played 348 last night. Yeah, and those 348 were the most annoying 348 of all time.
Yeah, because I think they're like letting him go in, and he's like, if he fouls, he fouls. Right, because we're not going to play him, a lot of minutes anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, he had 2 fouls in 348, and he made a 3. But like, he's just playing physical and just being annoying to everyone that he ends up guarding. Like if it's OG or Cat or whoever. Thought that was interesting. Harper was not that good last night on offense, but he still had the 4 assists, 9 rebounds. Like he does all the little things well, plays good defense, but his shot making wasn't there last night. But other than that, like, still played a good game and still very impactful.
I think he still had his like layup package. I think the 3-ball for the Spurs. That's because I don't think did he make 1 3 last night? Like
1 of 8, 12.5%
for Harper. I know that he missed a lot of threes. I know Fox missed a lot of threes.
Both the Spurs and Knicks shot the same percentage last night. 12 of 34 for the Spurs, 13 of 37 for the Knicks.
Yeah. So
the other thing with the Spurs last night was that they got like a decent Vassell and Keldon Johnson game in the minutes that they played. They weren't minuses, essentially. They were both pluses. Keldon Johnson was plus 14, and Vassell was plus 12. Vassell was 3 of 4, all threes, and then 2 of 3 from the free throw line, and then Keldon Johnson was 3 of 5. Didn't make his free throws, but they made shots when they came in, and they haven't been doing that in the first 2 games, and they've lost the games by a handful of points. If you just get a handful of points from those 2 guys, it makes it a lot easier on you. And I know, like, it was still a 4-point game last night, and Cat had 10 shots and only 10 points or whatever. It's like, you can look at it both ways. But their role player showed up last night. Champagne was still good, 3 of 7 from 3. Like, you take that. Fox shot too much. Harper shot too much. But outside of that, everyone played really, really well. That was Wemby's best game of the series, I think, by far.
Yeah, role players, I think, to your point, like, we can talk about, like, I know the bench, I think, is also another main reason why the Knicks were up 2-0 is because Shamet, McBride, and even Alvarado were really good in the first 2 games. And then we've talked about it, like, in our podcast throughout these playoffs. Like, Keldon Johnson has been kind of, like, missing for most of these games in the playoffs. He had that great, like, end of Game 7 against the Thunder with those 2 threes. But besides that, he has not had a great playoff run. And I think, this was probably clearly his best game in these finals. So if the benches start swinging back to favor the Spurs side, man, it gets really interesting because we do know, like, the Knicks as well. Like, we talked about it. I think that was one of the reasons why people were a little doubtful on them coming into the playoffs is because they are so top heavy. Like, they are very deep in their starting lineup. But we talked about the trade deadline. Like, they didn't really, like, do much, so we'll see if that starts swinging towards the Spurs and San Antonio. Again, the series, man, it's going to get a lot tighter.
Yeah, Deuce wasn't good last night. Shamet was really bad last night. He was the team worst, minus 20 and plus minus. But I mean,
he had some bad fouls and he didn't, he shot like, what was it, like 15 for 16 from the 3 in the Cavs series, something like that. And what was like 1 for 7 last night. So
and he was good in game 2. Like, he was making a lot of threes, and game 1, like, he was making threes. Like, I didn't think Shamet was bad last night. It's just he didn't shoot well, and if he didn't shoot well, like, that's going to be the problem. And he had those open threes, and he should have made a few or 2 or 3. Like, could have just changed this game. And the way it ended up, Mitchell Robinson, well, I thought he played well, and then I'm looking at the box score. He's plus minus 13.
I think
I thought he was like good in those 7 minutes. He didn't play a lot.
I don't. I feel like watching the game, I don't remember watching it being like, wow, these are
Spurs made some really tough shots over him. I think is really what it was. Like, he played the best defense he could, and without fouling and all that, and
got some good offensive rebounds too.
He did have some good ones there.
No, I don't know. That might just be
just the time of the game. They were on a run, maybe 7 minutes.
I don't remember.
Of game time. And then Alvarado came in and just kind of like saved the Knicks for a little bit there in the second quarter, kind of sparked that little bit of a run. Like, he was a spark plug, Jordan Clarkson coming in, making some threes. Like, they have the bench pieces to do it, and so do the Spurs. It's just like which bench is going to be really good that game. And that's kind of what swung the series so far. The Knicks have had 2 really good bench games. Spurs have had 1 good bench game, and it's 2-1.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your prediction though? Like, I know we talked about you think Knicks 5 or Knicks 6. Or do we still feel? Because I had Knicks 6 before the series. I don't know. I do like that pick, but I don't know. That game 3 does make me a little nervous.
That's the Knicks' like worst game of the series. They haven't played a good game yet. It feels like.
Yeah, if Brunson has an efficient game, it's probably over.
If Brunson has a magnet ball game.
That's true.
if Brunson just has one magnet ball game, and Cat is just doing what Cat has done, if Mikal Bridges gets you anywhere between 7 and 14 points, like you haven't had one good Jalen Brunson game, not one.
Yeah, and they're up 2-1.
And they're up 2-1, and Karl-Anthony Towns didn't have a good game. Mikal Bridges did not score any points. He scored 2 points in game 3, and you lost by 4. And you can look at the free throw disparity. You can look at the bench. You can look at all these little things. You lost by 4 points. You could have pretty easily won that game. They shot 18 of 22. If they just make 4 more free throws, that's a tie game. And they go. And I know the Spurs missed a shitload of free throws. It felt like for a while, and then they just started drilling all.
The first half they missed a lot. Yeah.
But yeah, you just Shamet makes one more 3. Or you get that one stop on the De'Aaron Fox too, and you didn't play a good game. You got a good OG and Josh Hart game, and that's kind of really what it felt like. Everything else was mid.
There is that side of the Knicks where I totally agree, but also, I mean, Fox hasn't played well at all either. So it's like,
but he hasn't played well all playoffs is kind of the thing.
I know, but if he does, what if that shot at the end of the game gives him his mojo back, and he's like, all right, I got this in me, like I can do it. And if he comes out and he starts shooting efficiently again, and because Fox has been good in terms of I think he's still I know everyone loves Harper and Castle, and they should, rightfully so, but I still think the ball in Fox's hands at the end of the game is the safest option, just because he's very good at controlling their tempo, bringing the ball to the floor. He slows everything down for them, gets everyone in the right spot. The problem is just he's had a lot of assists, and he's been able to handle the ball really well. He just hasn't been able to make his shots. If that starts happening, it just gets a little dangerous.
Yeah, there's that factor, and then the opposite side, if you just get Mitchell Robinson to score 10 points in 10 minutes, that could have just happened.
He has a monster.
10 rebounds, 10 points in 11 minutes or some shit. Or you get another Jordan Clarkson game like that, and you have a decent Brunson game. That just swings it. I don't know if I feel as good about Knicks in 5 anymore, but I still feel pretty confident in the Knicks in 6. Because we've both read Bill Simmons' book of basketball years ago. And the entirety of the book is about the secret of basketball, the secret of a championship team. And for whatever reason, the Knicks just seem like they have it right now, and the Spurs have inklings of it. I just don't know if they have the full thing. And obviously the Knicks were playing different teams, whatever, but not as hard of a team, whatever it may be, but they've kind of gone through the ringer, just like the Bad Boy Pistons and Isaiah Thomas did in that book. That's what he's leading it off with. Why were those Bad Boy Pistons teams so good? And it's the secret of basketball. It's what's the secret? It's not really a secret. It's just the team. And then I saw a clip of Richard Jefferson and Iman Shumpert talking on a podcast, or that little interview thing that RJ does. And they're what was the secret of that 2016 Cavs? And they're understanding your role. That's the most important thing on a team that wants to go win a championship, is everyone has a role. Everyone is willing to play it. Jordan Clarkson, it was his birthday the other day. They did not play him. Coach's decision, didn't play, but he's in there celebrating and smiling and laughing it up with the boys. He's accepted his role. I think the Knicks have a lot of that. I think the Spurs also have a lot of that. But the way that the Knicks were swinging the ball in games 1 and 2, it was just 2014 Spurs, dude. It's just they were moving the ball. Didn't matter who shot the ball. Right. I know Brunson took a lot of the shots, but I mean, at the end of the day, they just feel like they have something that the Spurs don't, and they just didn't use it last night. And the Spurs had a little bit more shot making ability. If the Knicks just shoot the ball better in the first half, or in the first quarter, even they win that game by 10.
Yeah, I think the secret
42 in the second quarter.
Yeah, the secret to the Knicks is get the ball back in Cat's hands. Honestly, I really truly believe they win this series if Cat has the ball in his hands more and Brunson shoots less. I think that recipe is just a positive.
I think there was a tweet
for both players
2023 that I saw, and someone was someone just get Mike Brown in charge of Cat's team and just turn him into Sabonis.
Yeah, I mean,
and obviously that's whatever flip, the switch that flipped during this playoffs, where he's just oh yeah, I know how to facilitate. I'll just do that now. And he's just been doing it. And it just started in the playoffs. That's the other thing is like this team's weird because it didn't start all season long. We're like,
I know.
They have it for a week and they lose it for 2 weeks. They have it for 2 weeks, they lose it for 3 weeks. Like,
yeah,
it was weird. Weird season. And then the playoffs happen and they're just after game 3 against the Hawks, they're like, okay, I know how to win basketball games now.
Yeah.
And they just didn't lose.
I mean, it does take time for players to mesh, that does happen. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's happening at the right time. It's been awesome to watch. I think it's, a really awesome career arc for him. That you think of in Minnesota as just a guy who's shooting threes, fouls a little bit too much, is Ant's second fiddle. And yeah, is he Brunson's second fiddle? Sure. But I think at the Knicks' best, like, it might be Cat as their best player, at least as like the central hub of their offense. So
it's Bill Simmons had it on his podcast yesterday. He was like, is Cat like the best change of scenery guy of all time in the NBA?
I mean,
when it comes to like an all NBA type of player, he might be. Because he has a second team and 2 third teams, I think. But like,
yeah, I have to really think about it. Yeah. I mean,
because I'm not going to put Shaq in there because he already went to the finals and was like one of the best players in the NBA.
Can we not put KD in there where he can't win in Oklahoma and then he wins back-to-back in Golden
State? But he already
won
an MVP. He already won an MVP and was the first team all-NBA
You're saying
guy.
you're saying like a disappointment. I mean, I don't know. I feel like
KD was but he's also like a top 3 player in the NBA
right.
when he went over. Like he already won an MVP.
Here's a good comp. I think is good. Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Right.
But
struggled in Orlando. Yeah. Wasn't a jump shooter. Known for just his dunks, and then is able to play next to Jokic, which helps a lot. But develops into like an amazing 3-point shooter to extend his career. So yeah, that's good. I like that though with Cat.
But then Cat's like supercharged as what Aaron Gordon was.
Yeah,
he's just overall a better player.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or a more centric player, so he gets more touches, whatever. But you can look at it either way. True Withers, Tyler I am on Twitter also tweeted last night, is Alvarado going to be Wemby's JJ Barea? Because every time JJ was on Wemby did not score. And got out rebounded, which was absolutely astounding. Because I was sitting there, I was like, well, this is a bucket. And Alvarado just, I don't know what is it about tall dudes versus really, really, really short dudes? I mean,
he's probably scared to step on him. He probably doesn't want to break his ankle. He's like, I don't know what this guy is. I can't even see him under me.
And then Alvarado just like pre-final was like, if we win the finals, I'm going to be drunk for 8 days. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm surprised it's only 8.
Yeah. I don't know. Game 3 was still fun. It was
great
a little
game.
Frustrating.
Yeah, a little towards the end, but still a great, it was a great watch. Like I had a great time watching it.
All 3 games have been really good. This was what I was talking about in the OKC Spurs series. I was like, yeah, game 1 was fucking awesome. And then ever since then, there wasn't a good game after that until Game 7. Game 7 was pretty decent, right?
Yeah.
Towards the end. But all the other games were like, yeah, this team has control in the first half. Like, they're not going to let it go. And then the same thing happened throughout games 2 through 6 in the OKC Spurs series. This one, all 3 games have been bangers. And you got a 2-1 series lead. And I don't know. It's going to be fun. Game 4 tomorrow
What's
night.
your prediction, Game 4? Who do you think takes it?
The Knicks can't lose in MSG twice with that crowd. I know a lot of people were like, the crowd's not that loud and stuff. They muted it 7 times.
Let's say all the videos that I saw online, it was loud as hell.
Raucous. And it's because you have Celebrity Row and everyone's like, oh, there's celebrities. I was like, did you watch John Starks come out onto the court and point at Wemby like that's a fucking tech? Like, what are we doing? Like, you're not even coming close. Like, OKC, I know they're loud constantly and everything. MSG, if you've never been to MSG, if you've never been around Knicks fans in New York City, you don't understand it. Because I've been to a couple of games up there now. Like, I have a lot of Knicks friends. Like, they are
raucous.
The only equivalent I can find is like Harvey Updike, the Alabama fan that burned or that poisoned the almond trees. Like, except for there's 20,000 of them in the arena, and then there's 100 billion people outside the arena. Like, that's
just watch parties.
It's just 100,000 Harvey Updikes in there. Like, that's what the New York Knicks fans are. And the fact that they had to mute fucking telecast 20 times because they were yelling "fuck you, Wemby" the entire game. I know we have the "fuck Trae Young" thing and all that kind of stuff. This is real hate. This is like, this is going to be
they're in the finals.
hate. They're in the finals. This is the highest stakes it can be. If you have to mute the entire telecast, not just the crowd mics, because it's getting picked up on Mike Breen's mic and on Tim Legler's mic and on Richard Jefferson's mic and all the other mics that are in the stadium, it's a problem. It's a real raucous crowd. So everyone's saying online, I didn't even notice it on TV. You weren't fucking there, and then you didn't hear the 7 mutes. I think it was 7. I think I counted 7 different times they muted the entire telecast.
All the videos and clips that I saw of people recording in the actual stadium, like it was loud.
They never sat down.
You have Knicks in game 4?
I think it just can't lose in game 4. No one sat down the entirety of the game. All of the lower bowl was standing up. That's one thing I hate about playoff basketball is like OKC does this and the Mavs do this. You stand for tip off and then you don't sit down until the first bucket. And they're doing that in the playoffs. I'm like, this is fucking NBA playoffs. Just stand as long as you want. Like as long as you're capable. Like if I'm down there, I'm standing the entirety of the game except for the break, like TV breaks and everything. I'm sitting down. MSG crowd's incredible. I think they can't lose in front of them 2 games in a row, which I know the Spurs crowd is good and everything too, but it's not MSG. I think they win game 4.
I think they also win game 4. I think Mike Brown did just enough in his post-game presser to sway the next group of refs to come in to probably, like, I think we'll see Brunson get some good calls.
I'm not even asking for like a lopsided free throw.
I'm not either. If
you're within 5 free throws, I'm content. It doesn't matter who's up. If within 5 free throws, that's an evenly called game.
But I do think the Knicks will get some ticky-tack ones probably to start game 4 just to set the tone of like, all right, you guys can't be hounding them like you were in game 3 and getting away with it. I think that'll help. And I do hope, they go back and look at the tape and Brunson, like I say in the beginning of the pod, is more decisive with those passes coming off those picks if he's getting tagged with both guys.
Yeah, because in game 2 and game 1, Brunson was doing the same thing, but I felt like the ball was leaving his hands with 12 seconds left or 10 seconds left.
Instead of 5, yeah.
Last night was 8 or less, and it's just not enough time.
Yeah.
All right. Should be fun. Do you want to talk about the president being there and all the chaos that went into it?
We can. I think it's incredibly selfish.
We don't have to. Yeah.
No, we can. I mean, I'll just say I think it's selfish. Like, whether you like him or not, I think to have all these fans have to go through the security and the players, and for a guy who, sure, is he sometimes, or in his earlier days, was he on the sidelines as a celebrity row? Yeah, maybe, but also like he just missed his son's wedding because he said he was too busy, and now he's at a Knicks game. So I think it's
sleep too.
I think, and he apparently left before the end of the game. So I think it's pretty ridiculous.
When media had to get there at 4 p.m., I think, or 3 p.m. to just get in line on 34th and 6th, and then the police doesn't understand like what entrance they all are going to. So there's a ton of videos of Knicks fans like, "Hey, I'm trying to go to the Knicks game. Where do I go?" And they're like, "Go here," and then they get there and they're like, "Yeah, you need to go to the opposite side of MSG, and you got to go all the way around all those blocks and everything." I just thought, I guess it was selfish. I'm also just out on presidents doing anything in the public ever, because a couple of years ago when Biden was still president, we were flying from Miami to Dallas after a Dolphins game. It was on the night of the national championship. And there was weather from Miami to Dallas. So in the Gulf, there was some kind of weather. We got rerouted to Corpus Christi to get gas. We were running out of gas, had to get gas, landed there, sat there for like 4 hours. And then we fly to Dallas Love. Joe Biden's plane was at Dallas Love, Air Force One. And because the plane was on the premises at Dallas Love in the private sector, not the public sector, we couldn't land there. We circled for 3.5 more hours up in the air around Dallas Love. I was on a plane for near 11 hours from Miami to Dallas, which is relatively a 3-hour flight. Because the president's plane was sitting somewhere on the opposite side of where we were needing to land and everything. So I'm just out on presidents doing literally anything that will hinder the public in any way, shape, or form. Because if I have to have my dog on a flight and she can't piss for 11 hours.
Yikes.
Yeah, this is all the president's fault. It doesn't matter which president it is. So just don't go to sporting events. Don't go to games. Don't go to the airport that I'm flying into specifically.
Right.
And I'm good. I'm peachy. It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, I agree. You probably have other things you should probably be doing anyways.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I thought the lines and everything and the chaos and screening Wemby coming in. It reminded me another hockey thing. Tyler Seguin was going into the Vegas like metal detectors and everything where the players walk in the entrance, and he didn't have his like player's badge or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'm Tyler Seguin. I'm like I'm an alternate captain for the Dallas Stars, like been here for 10 years, like played in this building hundreds of times now, and they're like, can't let you in. He literally pulled up his like that's like his headshot of, and he smiled just like, and he's doing this just to get in, and they're like, I don't know, and someone had to come in and like, yeah, that's fucking Tyler Seguin, bro, let him in. Them doing that to Wemby last night was pretty funny. So
yeah,
I don't know, stupid, but what can you do? He probably won't be there for game 4, and you can take the bulletproof glass down in front of the suite.
I don't think so.
It also looked like James Dolan was asleep at that point, and then he started yelling in that clip. And then Trump, like, his eyes open. Also, his granddaughter, shout out to Kai Trump. I think she's kind of cool, but whatever. Playing college golf. She was right next to James Dolan. That was Trump's guest, was his granddaughter, which is funny. So,
nice.
YouTube golfer, you know?
Love YouTube golf.
Yeah, good stuff. But that's our spiel. Nixon 5. Let's do it. Fuck it.
Still very much in the cards.
Very much so. We'll see if you're available after game 4 on Thursday. Maybe we have an episode. I don't know.
Yeah. I might have some bruising, but I think I'll be okay.
Yeah. He's about to go get surgery in like 2 seconds. So
yeah. No, it's just a deviated septum. The doctor said it's all going to be on the inside of the nose. So hopefully I'm not looking like an ogre when I get out. We'll see.
I think all swimmers have deviated septums.
I agree with that, actually.
So I'm pretty sure I have one as well.
Yeah.
Just never got to check. I can only breathe out of one nostril.
Yeah. That's probably, I think that's actually like that definition of a deviated septum.
Sick. Well, good luck in surgery. We'll have Drew back later this week. We'll talk game 4 at some point. We'll let you know if that's Thursday or Friday, TBD. But we'll be back very, very soon with another episode of the Apollo NBA Show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And hit it wherever you get podcasts like Apple, Spotify. At some point, we'll have video on Spotify or on Apple. We have it on Spotify already. Follow us on social media at Apollo NBA or Apollo NBA Show. Make sure you hit subscribe on NBA Nightman on YouTube. He had a clip up this morning, I believe. I gave it a like on TikTok. So he's on TikTok, YouTube, all the things. NBA Nightman, that's Drew's solo venture for NBA content. If you need more, go hit the subscribe button there. We'll be back very, very soon. Game 4 of the NBA Finals with the Apollo NBA Show.